Hello you, a special episode this week as I dive into the archives to bring you my trip to the Galapagos in 2020. What a special time that was. Now obviously the prices I mentioned in the video will have gone up, but I did do some quick research and they haven't increased by too much. But most importantly, the principles remain the same.
1,000 kilometers off the coast of Ecuador, widely thought as one of the most expensive places in the world to visit. This is my attempt to do the Galapagos Islands on a budget.
That's right, I'm taking you with me on my 17-day odyssey around the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador, showing you exactly how I kept the cost down while still enjoying everything the Galapagos has to offer. This video will be split into 4 categories. Transport, where I'll show you how to get to the Galapagos and the best ways to travel between the islands and on the islands once you're there. Accommodation, where I'll show you all the options and give you my recommendations for the best budget-friendly places to stay. Food and drink, where I'll show you what to eat and what not to eat when you're in the Galapagos. Trust me, cooking just isn't worth it. Activities, and this is the big one. I'll show you all the incredible things you can do for free, as well as what's actually worth spending your money on. And at the end, I'll reveal exactly how much I spent in total on my incredible 17-day trip to the Galapagos Islands, and decide whether you really can visit the Galapagos on a budget.
Now it must be said, I'm not trying to do everything as cheap as possible. That's not the goal here. I want to have a full experience and see everything that the Galapagos has got to offer. But at the same time, I want to keep the costs down. And let's kick this thing off with transport. One of the biggest costs in terms of the Galapagos Islands is getting here. I got my flights from Quito for $175. Make sure that you pay for your Galapagos tax before you leave. If you go into the departures lounge, there's a desk to the right and you need to go there, pay your $20 and get your bag scanned as well. I didn't do that. I didn't see it. Nobody was there to tell me to do it, so I didn't know I had to. It turns out I got all the way through to the gate. I was just about to board the plane when somebody said, "Where's your tax coupon?" And I had to run all the way back through the airport, back up the stairs, up the escalators, back out through security to go and get it, and I nearly missed my flight, so make sure you don't do that. Then when you arrive in the Galapagos Islands, you will have to pay $100 in cash, and that's your Galapagos park fee. In San Cristobal, where we landed, it was directly after passport control, so you've got no time to get to an ATM, so make sure you have your cash on you. It's only accepted in cash. Straight off the plane, the first part about doing this on the cheap is it's less than a kilometre into town from the airport, so I'm going to have to find my Airbnb straight away. No taxi, no bus, no nothing, just my legs. Once you're in town, taxis are dead cheap, $1.50 I think, something like that for a standard ride. But all the towns are walkable, but if you've got heavy bags or anything like that, then obviously a taxi works out quite well. Now once you get out to the Galapagos, there's lots of different methods of moving around. There's ferries that go between all the major islands. They vary between $25 and $30 per ticket. They go twice a day. Just a little tip from Tamex here, make sure you sit towards the back of the boat. They're quite uncomfortable, some of them. The seas can get quite choppy and it's a bone-shaking experience. And also then you might get a chance to see the wildlife as well, because on my ferry from San Cristobal to Santa Cruz, we crossed through a pod of about, I don't know, 100 dolphins. They were everywhere. So how some of them didn't land in the boat, I'm not sure. But lastly, when you're getting off the ferry at Santa Cruz or Isabella, they have little boats to take you from the main boat to the pier, and they cost 50 cents each. So make sure you have some change on you and don't be surprised by that fun little tax. Should be said, not all ferry boats are equal. Just got off the Gaviota there. Such a nice boat and half an hour quicker than any other boat that I've had so far. Get the Gaviota if you can, same price. But it's easy to get around from island to island when you're here. Okay, let's move on to accommodation. There's plenty of accommodation options in the Galapagos, from small guest houses to hotels to really upscale, beautiful places, all the way down to hostels and bedsits and things like that. I found that it's best to book online before getting here. All the rates that I asked for in person seem to be more expensive than I could book online. Now, in my experience, the guest houses seem to provide the best value. You get an ensuite room, you get aircon, sometimes you get a breakfast included, sometimes snorkel gear is included, and I was paying between $20 to $30 a night for my own private room. This is what $28 US gets you for a night. Double bed, room to hang your clothes, The bathroom, obviously, the toilet all in one, shower, and it even comes with free soap. Nice. But it comes with a communal roof terrace, and it's just delightful up here. There's a concrete rebar crate of empty beer bottles there, and this is the Galapagos roof terrace. Beautiful, hey? I also stayed in a hostel for $18 a night. So this is the hostel Posada del Caminante, and this is the room which I get to share with 1, 2, 3 other people. That's hostel life. Thing is, it's not just the room, you also get free snorkel gear. And there's free bananas here. And they'll do your laundry for free. There's an amazing roof terrace for sunset beers. And if for no other reason, come for the giant wooden tortoise. So the hostel actually, although price-wise it wasn't that much cheaper, you got a lot of value for that money. Next section, food. So breakfast, $7.50 will get you coffee, juice, fruit and cereal, and scrambled eggs and toast. Thank you. The restaurants that locals eat at, you can get a full meal like a starter, which is usually soup, then a main course and with juice as well, for anywhere between $5 to $10. Along the front near the water, there's a tourist strip in all of these towns as well, where the restaurants, you know, then you're looking at $10 to $25 for a meal. Well, that burger from Chris Burgers was $13.50, but holy moly was it worth it. Such a good burger. I was incredibly hungry, and now I'm not. I found it quite difficult to cook myself. There weren't many places that had a kitchen, and often the prices of the food in the supermarkets, it actually didn't make sense to even cook yourself. Just been to the shop to get some snacks before going out for dinner tonight, and that was quite expensive. All of this was $7.60. And then there's a few restaurants, particularly in Santa Cruz, that go up and way above that as well. So if you want some posh nosh, you can get that here too. And lastly, there's loads of little food stalls by the side of the road where you can get like empanadas for $1 and lots of other fried food generally. It's the size of my hand, it's enormous. But generally again, the food, it's not that expensive when you consider everything. You might be able to hear those sea lions in the background. They sound like they're hungry at the moment as well. Calm down, son. Yeah. Okay, activities is the next section. The tours here are expensive. There's no question about that. There's no getting away from it. But the flip side is there's so many free, amazing things that you can do here. You see the animals everywhere, particularly here in San Cristobal. The beach here behind me is just rammed full of sea lions, marine iguanas, and all kinds of birds. And the turtles are only just around the corner in the bay as well. So you can do so much for free on the Galapagos that the day tours, while some of them take you to more remote places, there's loads you can do for free here. So my plan was to come to San Cristobal and then get the ferry to Santa Cruz after a couple of days, and then the ferry to Isabela, with the idea of doing as many free things on the way as I could and get an idea for what tours I wanted to pay for on the way back. Because you get to see so many of the animals for free, I didn't then want to be spending money on tours just seeing the same animals but in a slightly different location. That didn't seem to make any sense to me. Snorkeling, if you haven't got your own mask, there's loads of places in all the towns that rent it out for $5 a day, or a lot of the hotels and hostels have it for free as well, where they'll just lend you their gear. So snorkeling is another almost free activity.
And one of the best places to go snorkeling is Concha de Perla on Isabela, and it's so accessible, just on the edge of town, where you can see sea lions who will play with you underwater, so many turtles that I lost count, crabs, and that is my first Galapagos shark. There would be many more. Oh, and I also saw frigate birds trying to steal a fish off a sea lion.
And just walk around the towns. So here in San Cristobal, you'll see all the animals like right in the middle of town. They put fences up to stop them just walking onto the path quite as often. In Santa Cruz, there's the bit where the fishing boats come in and they gut all the fish, and you'll see loads of sea lions and a load of birds there, frigate birds and the herons and the pelicans just hanging around, and it's really fun to go and spend like half an hour there watching them clean all the fish and see the sea lions begging for scraps and stuff. Hey, so I love funky little things like this. This is Ceramic Alley on Santa Cruz, and it's just somebody, or a group of people, I'm not sure who, just decided to decorate this wall with all kind of ceramics, and it's really cool. Look, there's some mugs in here. God knows what these are. Dishes and stuff. A bit of glass. Here there's even hand with all the reading lines on it. It's just really fun and free. Hiking. It's great free activity here. You can do it from all the town centres. Just stroll out along some of the well-marked paths and you will find wildlife almost immediately. Just going for a stroll here down the road with my mate. Come on buddy, keep up. See ya. I am definitely the hare in this race. A short walk from Puerto Villamil. There's this little wildlife refuge full of lakes and you can do a walk, and this is where the pink flamingos are. So you can certainly see these guys without paying for a tour or anything like that. And there's plenty of them. El Estero, don't miss this section. There's all 4 types of mangrove in this little section here. White, red, black, and the other one. All intertwined, dense, holding all kinds of wildlife. Oh, what a spot this is. Deep in the mangroves. This is a freshwater river running in behind me. You can feel the water's really cold coming from the mountains. And then over here, that's out to sea. And just about here, you can feel the water just warming up a little bit as it's being heated in the shallows in the sun out there. It's amazing. These birds are amazing. Pelicans hunting in packs. Boom! Have that. Just keep swinging around in gangs. I guess they're catching small fish. I don't really know. But they just look working as a team. Collecting a few more, raising up, and then boom! Have that. These guys here are called candelabra cactus. It's another species that only exists here in the Galapagos. There are quite a few dangers here on Isabella Island. Fortunately, the local signage makes sure that you're aware of more, like this. Beware of people doing front wheelies, very dangerous. You'll see these trees everywhere in the Galapagos. They're called the manchineel trees, and they grow teeny tiny little apples like these ones here, which are poisonous to us humans. So make sure you don't get a little bit hungry on a trail and think you can eat them. The giant tortoises can eat them. Seems to make sense. They've clearly adapted to make sure that they can feed in this quite barren environment at places. But yeah, avoid the manchineel mini apples. This here behind me is the Wall of Tears. The wall was built for no particular reason. It's a futile exercise to keep prisoners busy, basically. It's from the time when it was a penal colony. People came here to be prisoners, and it was a horrible place. You basically came here to be abused and then die. So this wall, the Wall of Tears, is left as a reminder from that time between 1946 and 1959, not that long ago. And this spot, the end of the hike here, is called the Radar, because it's one of the spots where the US Army had a radar station, I think during the Second World War. And that island out there that you can just about see is a semicircular, kind of a disc shape. It came from a volcano, which is now eroded away and just left in the sea. It looks incredible from the sky. And this spot is full of insects. So bring your bug spray if you're coming up here. Watch out, there's all kinds of different wasps and crickets and grasshoppers, bees. There's like little yellow bees, they're just yellow, and there's loads of them. But that also means there's lots and lots of birds as well, because they're eating all of this stuff. You can tell it's been a tough hike. Look at the state of my feet. Disgusting. Another incredible free experience here is here at the Giant Tortoise Breeding Centre, and this is on Isabella, and this is where they're trying to repopulate all the native species, because introduced predators and humans, frankly, have meant that the populations have really dropped off. I think there's 14 or 15 different species of these guys across all the islands. Some of them have crossbred, and they're trying to regenerate the pure breed of some of these species. Some of them have got saddlebacks, some of them are really squat, and you can see all different sizes, including some that are less than a month old in a tiny little box. They're literally about that big. It's dark in there, so you can't really take any film or videos of it, but make sure you come and have a look at the teeny tiny baby giant tortoises. So this down here behind me is Las Grietas, and it's a nice little half day, maybe a few hours if you've got a few hours to kill, free or nearly free activity in Puerto Ayora in Santa Cruz. You just get a little water taxi across, ask for Las Grietas, and then there's like a 20-minute hike through some nice little landscapes. And then you come here, this incredible gorge with swimming water, which is brackish, so it's kind of mixed seawater and fresh water, so it's quite nice. And it's super deep, so you can see all the way down to the bottom if you get a snorkel. And there's some big fish in there. There's a dock area that you can jump off and do all kinds of fun and games. If you've got a couple of hours to kill, Las Grietas is the spot. But the tours are there for a reason, and it's because they take you to some of the more remote places where you see some of the slightly rarer animals. So the first one I took on was Los Toneles from Isabela. This is the amazing Los Toneles area where ancient lava flows have just left huge great big holes in the rock. This whole area is filled with them. It is an underwater wonderland through lava caves, shallow water where a lot of incredible marine life just goes and holes up, where you can go and swim with reef sharks and see seahorses and the biggest turtles that I've ever seen. One came right up to my face and just looked at me through my mask. It was incredible. And then you go and stand on the land, spend time with the blue-footed boobies. They're not scared of you whatsoever. You could, you shouldn't, but you could just go right up to them and pick them up.
And on the way back we stopped at this island to see the pelicans and the tiny Galapagos penguins.
I tried to get a last minute deal for a few days here in town using all my bargaining tools, of which there are almost none because I hate having to negotiate on price. It turns out the lowest I could get anybody to go was $100. Most people are charging $120.
The experience was worth it. The huge turtles were incredible. The reef sharks were amazing, and to be able to swim with a seahorse or be up close with a seahorse in the wild was worth $100 to me. The single biggest expense of my time here in the Galapagos, but it was something I desperately wanted to do, is to go diving. I paid $160 to go diving at Mosquera Island from Santa Cruz, and $160 is a lot of money for 2 dives, but if you compare it to $120 for snorkeling, then actually the value's not too bad comparatively. Go! And it was the single most incredible experience of my life. On one dive, we saw manta rays, spotted eagle rays, golden rays, stingrays, black-tip, white-tip Galapagos sharks, and a school of 30 hammerhead sharks just came right by us. It was absolutely insane. I'll never have a dive like that again, I doubt. It was worth $160 on its own just for that one dive. The second dive was almost as good. We saw a school of, 1,000 barracuda just swimming around us, which is incredible. We saw all the rays and all the sharks again. I really wanted to go diving again. There's a spot here called Kicker Rock, which is iconic, and there's a big crevasse through the middle of this rock, and it just looked incredible. So that's another $160. The experience was very different. It was good, but I think the snorkelers who were up on the surface got at least as good an experience and possibly better. Actually, the highlight of the Kicker Rock dive was we ended up in this enormous bowl of fish. I'm talking tens of thousands of fish. It was dense, it was immense, and we just swam right the way through it. It went dark, literally the lights went out as you went into this pool of fish, and it completely disorientated, had no clue where you were, and it was amazing. $160 again for the dive at Kicker Rock, totally worth it. And the diving experiences here are like nowhere else in the world. The next part of the islands that you don't see day to day are the highlands. It's just away from the hustle and bustle of the seaside, where it feels very touristy. You get up to the highlands, it feels very much more authentically Galapagosian, Galapagosian, Who knows? But anyway, it feels real. They do Jeep tours, or you can rent a bike. And I always like to be under my own steam.
I took an e-bike, which just takes a little bit of work out of the legs, and on a hilly island like the Galapagos is, and with heat and humidity, I just thought I'd give it a go. I've never done one before, but it's worked out great. $30 for a day, which is good value, I think. And basically that enables me to see a load of fun things this side of the island. So I went to 2 craters where the volcanic ground had just collapsed and made these huge craters. Then went to one of the ranches, which has loads of tortoises around. That cost $5 to enter. To be honest, you can see loads of tortoises anyway on the way to it. I mean, there was some stuff there which was good. You can look at all the shells. They do have some lava tunnels there though, which are also super cool. But like cenotes in Mexico, they're all different in my experience. So it's worth going and seeing as many as you can. Some are big, some are small, some have got layers of rock formations that you can see there and are really cool. Others, you know, you're crawling in there with spiders and all kinds of things and you can barely fit through. So go and see as many lava tunnels as you can. Then cycled all the way across, back past Bella Vista, up to this place is called the Viewpoint. And I mean, not today, because there's no view whatsoever, but I imagine the view is amazing from here. You can see down to the beach and the coastline. But it's just a wonderful treasure trove of all kinds of different things. In front of me here, there's the bones of a sperm whale, which is amazing. And then all kinds of farmyard animals and things like that just along here. And there's another crater in behind you, and you can walk in down the bottom of the crater. They call it the Enchanted Garden or something like that. But the plants and things down there are just incredible. And it's a really fun half an hour while your e-bike is recharging. It costs $5 to come in. Yeah, it's great. I recommend it. The last thing I did today was another set of the lava tunnels down here in the incredible Los Tuneles del Amor. The tunnels of love. Above me, 2 stories, 3 stories maybe worth of space above me, 5 meters wide, and you can see all the scratch marks on the far side there, where the lava would have just gone through here and just scratched its way along as it was slowly hardening. This place is amazing. Imagine being the first person who found this. Just walking through this lava tunnel and getting more and more concerned about all these just enormous collections of rocks. Essentially, they've just tumbled from the ceiling at some point. Maybe let's get out of here sharpish. Dun dun dun. Again, you have to pay entry and stuff like that, but for me, these things only exist in a few places in the world. They're just so much fun to go in and explore, go and see as many as you can, even if it costs a few dollars here and there. It should be said that if you're worried about biking safety, well, don't be. They provide all the safety equipment, helmet, and the Galapagos drivers here are really courteous actually. They slow down, give you plenty of space. Didn't feel in danger once today. And also there are bike lanes all the way through town here in Santa Cruz and a long way out of town on the main road as well. Now, the bike lanes unfortunately are also the cattle lanes. So along with a lot of rainwater that was splashing up in my face, there was a lot of dung slowly getting dissolved and washing down the bike lane. It's kind of all washed off now. Earlier on I was just splattered with all kinds of stuff. You can still see some of it here. Keep your mouth shut, that's my advice. And your eyes, except for the fact you need to see where you're going. It's a bit of a problem at times. Soak up cow dung spray through your eyes or avoid crashing. Tough call. Another big reason to do this tour today was to get up into the highlands, because look at the lush greenery behind me. It's a completely different world up here. Really beautiful forests, a mile away from the arid sort of desert landscape down by the sea. Honestly, pretty sure I'm bored. You wait long enough in the viewpoint. Arms into you, baby.
And that's it, folks. So that brings it all in. Give or take, I've done the whole thing, the whole 17 days, including transport, including accommodation, including food, and including all activities, for a grand total of just over $1,700. So that's around about $100 a day to visit the Galapagos Islands, which I think is incredible value.
I've written a blog post about it with all the details, which I'll link in the description down below. Has this inspired you to get out to the Galapagos? Let me know in the comments. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode where I'll be modelling for a yoga retreat shoot in Bali. I am not joking.